The morning sun slowly rose above the rolling hills of rural Virginia as Donald Trump's motorcade veered off the main road. His staff had planned a low-key weekend visit to an apple orchard owned by a veteran. No press coverage, no media spectacle. Just a quiet break filled with conversation and reflection. But the day took an unexpected turn. As the convoy moved along a winding dirt path, Trump noticed something unusual. An old, partially collapsed barn with smoke gently drifting from a crooked chimney. Intrigued, he told the driver to pull over. "Someone lives in that?" he asked, peering out the window. His Secret Service agents exchanged wary glances. "Looks deserted, sir," one of them said cautiously. But Trump saw what they didn't: a weathered American flag, faded yet proudly displayed next to the door. It wasn't just decoration, it was a statement. "I want to meet whoever lives there," Trump declared. They approached the structure and knocked, uncertain of what they'd find. After a few moments the door creaked open, revealing a slender, upright woman in her 60s, leaning on a handmade cane. Her eyes, though weary, sparked with quiet strength. "I don't usually get visitors," she said, polite but guarded. Trump introduced himself. She didn't flinch. "I know who you are. I don't need charity." He wasn't offering charity, not yet. "May I know your name?" he asked. "Captain Marie Dalton," she responded. "United States Army, retired." Silence fell. It wasn't just her title. It was the way she carried it. Marie wasn't just a veteran. She was a warrior. And she was living alone in a dilapidated barn. With a nod from Marie, Trump stepped inside. What he saw wasn't shelter. It was resilience. Her home was built from old military crates, patched-up blankets, and a wood-burning stove. She'd used hay bales and tarps for insulation, yet the space was impeccably tidy. "You live here by yourself?" Trump asked. She nodded. "Since 2015. Why not a shelter or a VA home?" "Tried both. Shelters weren't safe. The VA gave me pills, not peace," she answered with a shrug. Her response cut deep. Trump looked to his team. This wasn't just her story. It was a glaring sign of a broken system. How many others are living like this? He wondered aloud. "Do you need anything?" he asked softly. "I need to be left alone," Marie replied. "I don't need pity. I served this country. I still do." She wasn't angry. She was proud. Her walls bore old medals, faded family pictures, and a tattered flag from her time in Iraq. She had given everything to a nation that barely remembered her name. But Trump didn't see a sad story. He saw a cause. "You deserve better," he told her. Marie looked him in the eye. "Everyone does. Some of us just settle for less." Trump exited the barn, unusually quiet. The encounter had affected him more than he expected. As the door closed behind him, he took out his phone. "This can't wait. I want this handled personally." Back in Washington, his team moved fast. Trump ordered a full background investigation, not to scrutinize Marie, but to fully understand her journey. What they discovered was heart-wrenching. Captain Marie Dalton had served 3 tours in Iraq and 1 in Afghanistan. She had saved lives during combat, earned 2 Bronze Stars, and led an all-female unit in 2007, an almost unheard-of feat at the time. After a serious spinal injury during her last deployment, she was honorably discharged. But her benefits were delayed. Her appeals disappeared into bureaucratic red tape. Medical bills overwhelmed her, and she lost her home. The only thing left was the barn her father once owned. "How did no one notice?" Trump demanded. A staffer explained. She declined interviews, refused handouts. She wrote letters, but most were never answered. Trump clenched his jaw. This isn't about politics. It's about doing what's right. Get me the Secretary of Veterans Affairs. Tonight. Meanwhile, Marie remained unaware of the commotion she had sparked. She quietly brewed tea over her tiny stove, humming an old tune from childhood, peaceful in her solitude. But outside, her life was causing ripples. She opened a dusty drawer and pulled out an old envelope, wrinkled, marked, "Return to sender." It had been addressed to the president 5 years earlier. She had written the letter from her hospital bed after being discharged, not seeking sympathy, just change. She wrote about forgotten promises and the silence many veterans face. "I never expected a reply," she whispered, "but someone had to know." She folded the letter again and tucked it back in the drawer. The world had moved on. She had learned to live without expectations. Across the country, Trump sat in the Oval Office, reading a scanned copy of that same letter, uncovered by his team. He read the words aloud, and the room fell silent. Slowly, he lowered the paper. "I never saw this," he said tightly. "It never made it to you, sir," an aide confirmed. "Then we make sure she gets an answer," Trump said. He penned a personal letter, rare for his packed schedule. This wasn't for the media. It was for her, for 5 years of silence. Then, without publicizing it, he ordered his helicopter to be prepped. The next morning, Marie heard the sound of helicopter. Blades. She stepped outside, shielding her eyes. Descending into the open field near her barn was Marine One. She blinked in disbelief. "Oh, for heaven's sake!" Trump stepped out, a folded letter in his hand. "I forgot to deliver your mail," he joked. Marie chuckled despite herself. "You're relentless. I read your letter, every word. It deserved an answer, so I came to listen. You flew a helicopter into my pasture. To listen?" "Yes," he said, "because your story isn't just yours. It's the story of thousands more." She looked at him for a long moment, then opened the door once again. The two sat down together. No cameras, no staff. Just a veteran and a president. Trump handed her the handwritten note. She opened it with trembling hands. As she read, her eyes welled with tears, not from the promises, but because someone had finally heard her. Trump didn't just offer thanks. He offered truth. "You should have been honored the moment you came home. The fact that you weren't is our failure. We must make it right. Not with applause, but with real change." Marie looked up. "Why? Write this yourself?" "Because sometimes leaders forget how to be human. You reminded me." She blinked, emotion flickering across her face. "You can't help every vet." "No," Trump replied, "but I can help one. And if that inspires more action, then we've done more than help. We've made a difference." Outside, Secret Service kept their distance. Inside, silence spoke volumes. Marie folded the letter carefully. "I never asked for help." "I know," Trump said. "That's exactly why you deserve it." She offered a soft smile. "So, what are you going to do?" "I'm going to make sure people see you," he said. "Not as a symbol, but as a woman who wouldn't be forgotten." Marie turned to the window, gripping the cane her father carved for her. "Then promise me something. Don't just fix my barn." "What do you want fixed?" Trump asked. She touched her chest. "The way we treat those who've come home." The next day, with no media attention, contractors showed up at Marie's property. Trump had organized a crew of veterans and locals to restore the barn. Not to erase its history, but to honor it. "It should still look like her home," he said, "just with dignity." Marie watched from her porch as the team replaced the roof and insulated the walls. Solar panels were subtly added, plumbing was restored. Her father's tool shed was rebuilt using his original blueprints. "I didn't ask for this," she told a carpenter. "You didn't have to," he said with a grin. "I'm a vet too. We look out for our own. Meanwhile, Trump was making calls to military hospitals and pushing policy changes to ensure quicker responses for veteran issues. But he made one particularly personal call to the Secretary of Defense. Find me 10 stories like Marie's. We're fixing what the VA missed. Back at the barn, Marie welcomed the team with coffee, using a battered tin pot passed down in her family. "You're making this place too nice," she teased. "I might not leave." "You shouldn't have to," one veteran replied. And in that moment, her broken-down barn transformed into something bigger, a symbol of what true respect can look like. News of Trump's visit eventually leaked, not from him, but from a local volunteer who snapped a photo of the president, carrying lumber. By that evening, the image had gone viral. The public didn't know what to make of it. Trump repairing a barn for a homeless veteran, with no media present? Questions flooded social media, but Trump said nothing. "This isn't for the headlines," he told an aide. "It's for her."